When we think of ancient Egypt, images of grand monuments rising from the golden sands immediately come to mind. Centuries after their construction, these architectural wonders continue to fascinate historians, architects, and travelers alike. They stand as enduring testaments to the ingenuity, ambition, and spirituality of one of the world's most remarkable civilizations. But what made ancient Egyptian architecture so unique? And how did these ancient builders achieve such breathtaking feats with the resources available to them thousands of years ago? Let's take a closer look at the secrets behind the iconic structures of ancient Egypt. The story of ancient Egyptian architecture begins along the fertile banks of the Nile River. This mighty waterway was more than just a lifeline for agriculture. It shaped the very foundations of Egyptian society and the materials used in their buildings. Mud brick, abundant and easily shaped, was the staple for everyday homes and modest structures. But for temples, tombs, and monuments destined to last for eternity, the Egyptians turned to stone, limestone, sandstone, and the precious granite quarried from distant Aswan. The earliest monumental architecture appeared in the form of mastabas, flat-roofed, rectangular tombs made of mud brick and stone. These simple structures paved the way for the first true pyramid, a revolutionary leap in architectural design. The credit for this transformation goes to Imhotep, the brilliant architect and vizier to Pharaoh Djoser. Around 2650 BCE, Imhotep conceived the step pyramid at Saqqara, stacking 6 mastaba-like layers atop one another. Rising over 200 feet, the step pyramid was not just a tomb, but a bold statement of divine kingship and the desire to reach towards the heavens. From the step pyramid, the evolution of pyramid building accelerated. Pharaoh Sneferu, a master of experimentation, constructed no fewer than 3 major pyramids, refining the art with each attempt. His red pyramid at Dashur, with its smooth, angled sides, marks the first true pyramid shape. But it was Sneferu's son, Khufu, who would commission the most iconic structure of all, the Great Pyramid of Giza. The Great Pyramid stands as the largest of the Giza pyramids, originally soaring to a height of nearly 480 feet and constructed from over 2 million blocks of stone. For centuries, scholars have marveled at how the Egyptians achieved such precision and scale. Without the use of iron tools, massive cranes, or the wheel, the builders relied on simple machines, ramps, levers, and sheer human determination. Teams of laborers, not slaves as long believed, but skilled workers who took pride in their craft, worked seasonally to move and set the stones in place. The result was a monument aligned almost perfectly to the cardinal points, its sides forming a near-perfect square, and its interior passageways revealing a mastery of engineering and planning. Yet the pyramids were not merely tombs. They were complex funerary complexes, accompanied by mortuary temples, subsidiary pyramids, and causeways linking them to the Nile. The walls of these temples were adorned with intricate carvings and hieroglyphs, depicting the pharaoh's journey to the afterlife and the rituals performed to ensure his immortality. Every element, from the orientation to the choice of materials, was imbued with symbolic meaning, reflecting the Egyptians' deeply held beliefs about life, death, and the cosmos. While the pyramids dominate the skyline, ancient Egypt's architectural legacy extends far beyond these colossal tombs. Temples dedicated to the gods stood at the heart of religious life and showcased some of the most impressive feats of construction and artistry. The Temple of Karnak, in the ancient city of Thebes, modern-day Luxor, is a sprawling complex that grew over centuries. Its hypostyle hall, with its forest of massive stone columns, each elaborately decorated with colorful reliefs, remains one of the largest religious spaces ever built. The scale and grandeur of Karnak were intended not only to honor the gods, but to awe all who entered. Further south, the temples at Abu Simbel stand as miracles of ancient engineering and modern preservation. Built by Ramses II, these rock-cut temples were carved directly into the cliffs overlooking the Nile. The facade of the Great Temple is guarded by 4 colossal statues of the pharaoh himself, each nearly 70 feet tall. The interior chambers, aligned so that the sun's rays penetrate deep into the sanctuary on specific days of the year, reveal the Egyptians' sophisticated understanding of astronomy and their desire to connect the earthly realm with the divine. Egyptian architects mastered not only the monumental, but also the intimate. In the Valley of the Kings, tombs were carved deep into the rock, hidden from view to thwart tomb robbers. These tombs, unlike the pyramids, were richly decorated with painted scenes of the afterlife, sacred texts, and protective deities, transforming the burial chambers into magical spaces designed to guide the soul on its journey. The construction of these wonders demanded more than technical skill. It required organization, resources, and a shared vision. Pharaohs mobilized thousands of workers, artisans, and architects, supported by a complex bureaucracy that managed everything from quarrying stone to providing food and shelter. The building projects themselves were acts of devotion, intended to secure the favor of the gods and ensure the eternal legacy of the ruler. It's important to recognize that ancient Egyptian architecture was not static. Over the centuries, styles evolved, reflecting changes in religious beliefs, political power, and artistic tastes. The obelisks, slender stone pillars that once stood at temple entrances, became symbols of the sun's rays. The graceful columns of later temples, topped with capitals shaped like lotus flowers or papyrus stalks, echoed the plants that lined the banks of the Nile. Even the humble mud brick homes of ordinary Egyptians reveal much about daily life, social structure, and adaptation to the environment. Today, the architectural wonders of ancient Egypt continue to inspire awe and curiosity. They remind us of the heights that human creativity and determination can achieve, even with limited technology. These monuments are not just relics of a distant past. They are stories written in stone, speaking of a civilization's dreams, beliefs, and relentless pursuit of eternity. As we gaze upon the pyramids, the temples, and the tombs, we are invited to imagine the world of their builders, a world where architecture was both an art and a sacred act, where every stone was placed with purpose and reverence. In their enduring presence, we find not only the spirit of ancient Egypt, but a timeless celebration of human ingenuity and the quest for immortality.